Hey Shackers, welcome back to This Week in Switch 2. I'm Asif Khan, I guess the de facto host of this show. I guess we're 6 episodes in, so I guess I'll finally just accept that I'm the host of this show now. I'm also the guy reviewing the Nintendo Switch 2, which is how this whole podcast started, and I'm in the process of reviewing Mario Kart World. But we got a review we're going to talk about on this episode. Banana lovers, stay tuned. But yeah, before we get started, I have our Shacknews long reads editor, David Craddock, here.
Hello, hello.
And I have the reviewer and the previewer of Donkey Kong Bonanza, Donovan Erskine, our news editor here. Hey, Donovan.
Banana.
Banana.
Speak
So
that
yeah,
language.
let's not dance around the topic here. This episode is going live on Wednesday as opposed to Tuesday, because we wanted to hit the review embargo for Donkey Kong Bonanza. Donovan, you've been playing it for a review. What do you think? Is it good?
Donkey Kong Bonanza is very good. Yes, I have beaten the game as of the morning we're recording this. Played a good amount of it. Obviously, I did the preview last month in New York City, and I like it quite a bit. Something I mentioned during the preview is that it's very obvious this was developed by the team who made Super Mario Odyssey, and that shines through playing the full game even more than it did in the preview to me. I think that the way that they incentivize you to like track down and find these banandium gems is the official term for them. I just called them bananas when I was finding them, but it's those like large crystals. They're everywhere. They're buried in terrain. You get them for winning boss fights. You'll get them at the end of challenge layers. Some challenges will have like multiple hidden, and you'll finish a challenge layer and you'll pop out and you'll see that like only 2 out of the 3 banana icons are like colored in on the ground. You're like, wow, there was just one in there that I missed. When I finished the game, I had 419 Banandium gems, and that is not the cap. That's not the maximum amount. There were some I know that I left behind, um, and I think in that nature, it almost feels like a more dense. Collectathon seems like reductive term, but like a bigger collectathon than Mario Odyssey was, because obviously you have the moons in Odyssey, but what Donkey Kong has is those challenge layers, which again, there are so many of them, and typically what you'll do is you'll find a door, you'll use Pauline singing to get rid of like the purple tape over it, you'll go in, and there are a few different types. So there are the combat challenge layers, which is like a vertical drop, you get 1 banana gem as a reward, and those are like, hey, kill 5 of these enemies in 30 seconds, kill 20 of these enemies in 10 seconds, and they kind of require you to use like the different abilities and skills that Donkey Kong has. But then they have like proper challenge courses, which are like these triangle doors, and as I mentioned, they're like these engravings outside of them where there are a maximum of 3 Banandium gems that you can get from them, and you just find them throughout. And these will be like a combination of platforming, combat and whatnot. Some of them are like exclusive. You can only use them with certain bonanzas. Like there's some where you like can't go through the door until you turn on like the ostrich bonanza, you know. Then you go through and then you get what you get and you come out and you'll see if you've gotten all of them or not, and you can like run back in and try them over and over again.
Yeah, I was
Those
gonna
are a lot of
ask
fun.
like
Yeah.
how it works. Like, if you fail, you can just keep trying.
Yes, you get the options of either retry or give up.
Okay, and
Your
like,
resources and stuff are still on the line in those. Like if
it,
you die, you still lose
is it
and whatnot.
like Zelda shrines where you can get frustrated and say, "Screw this, I'll come back later and do it"? Or
Yes,
okay,
yes,
that makes sense.
100%. Um, I don't think I had any while playing for review that I was straight up like I can't beat this. I'm coming back later. But I had a lot where I was like I'm not getting all the Banandium gems on this one.
So
I'll come back later.
there, like, we were talking before the show about Mario Odyssey, and I think it makes sense to bring up Odyssey when talking about this game. Same
Yeah.
developers, obviously huge pedigree in 3D platforming. I didn't 100% Odyssey because there's too many damn moons. And some of them I just think flat out sucked, or you had to like put a mustache on a puzzle, and like
Oh yeah, I remember them.
Mario's mustache is crooked, so it doesn't count. Are there missions like that in this, or is it just fun? Like, are there stupid, tedious Donkey Kong challenges, or are they all fun?
Mm, I don't think there were ones that I thought were stupid, but there are definitely some that just feel like filler, where there are some that you have to like, because some of them will just be buried in the terrain. Some of them it's just
Yeah.
like you use your sonar and there's just one 20 feet down. Or maybe because some of the vendors sell like a map. They'll give you a map to like one Banandium gem on the level, and it'll pull up on your map and it'll give you like a pin for it. And some of those it's like, oh, it was just like on the corner of the map at the bottom of the terrain. I just, unless I like stripped this entire layer of terrain, I probably wouldn't have found that one.
There were
Those are
like
whatever.
there were literally moons in Odyssey that were just sitting out. Like you didn't have to
Yeah.
do anything. You just like
Well,
found it and you're like, "Oh, there it is." It was like on the dinosaur level. There's one just kind of like sitting there. Uh but yeah, like so that's not that I understand like there's like going to be easier Banandium
yeah.
gems to get,
Mhm.
but like it's not even that it was hard. I just felt that some of the missions, some of the challenges in Odyssey, when you're post 500 moons, they just become tedious and annoying. And like I think that was like why I was asking that question. Like it doesn't sound like you felt annoyed by these at all.
No, I didn't feel annoyed by them. I did get to a point though where sometimes I'd see one and I was like, I'm not going down that rabbit hole right now. Like I was just about to go to the next level, and that's going to be like plus 15 minutes if I dedicate
Yeah.
myself. And I'm like, I'm looking at my skill tree, and I'm like, I'm fine. I'll just get like the free ones that are sitting out in the next level. Um, I will say, I think the ones that were most fun to me to collect were like the ones that revolved around platforming challenges. Because sometimes, and it's a Nintendo game design, so they're the gods at this. But you'll be exploring a level, and sometimes you'll just see like a bananium gem in the distance, and it'll just be like dangling from like a platform that looks like it's levitating nowhere near anything. You're like, how do you get to that? And you go over to it, and then you'll discover some very weird marriage of systems that you have to do. And there were a few that I got that I was like, I don't know 100% certainty that that was like the right way to get that one.
Yeah.
And those are fun, and those feel really good. I have some that I like just sat there and stared at for a few minutes before I figured out what I needed to do. And those always felt the most rewarding. But it's
we
a
had
range. There's some that
we had a
don't feel
moment like
that.
that in one of our Mario Kart World streams where we were trying to figure out how to get like a Peach medallion, and we kind of all
Hmm.
brainstormed together and started workshopping it together. So it
Yeah.
sounds kind of similar to that. That's cool. You mentioned platforming, and I know David wants to know this. I want to know this. How much side scrolling is there in this game?
There's a good sprinkling, not a ton. I think because all of the side-scrolling stuff is in challenge layers. It's
Yeah,
specifically challenge layers that do that.
yeah.
If I had to guess how many I did, assuming I probably missed at least a couple that were scattered in there, I probably did like 8 or 9, maybe
Okay.
10, like side-scrolling challenge levels. Um, I did one, and this is early in the game, so I can say I did one that was called Nostalgia Country. That was like a Donkey Kong Country like homage, where you're jumping around doing the barrels and whatnot. Um, what I think is fun is that even in the side-scrolling levels, although they obviously kind of have that like they're all paying homage to like older classic DK, they still use the modern features. So you're still using like the Kong Bonanzas in some of them. You still like are destroying the gems, and like the
Oh,
camera will kind of pull back in when you're doing that.
wait. So you're
So I thought that
you're
was
you
cool.
got to do a Bonanza side scrolling mission?
I turned into one of them, I believe. Yeah, I think I did the Kong Bonanza for one where I was just like breaking through stuff.
That
Um,
sounds cool.
because outside of like a few specific instances, they don't limit when and where you can use the Bonanzas. They said that in the direct.
Hmm.
So it's not like a if you're on this layer, this is the ostrich layer. You can only use that one here. You can
But
kind of just jump in and out
do the
whenever.
Bonanzas function on a cooldown at least?
The cooldown is I think it's the Bananergy meter is what they call
Yes.
it. It's like a thing, and you fill it up by like when you collect gold, it fills. When you defeat enemies, it fills. And there are like different clothes you can wear that'll give you like, oh, when you get gold, it increases the Bananergy meter 25% faster. I found that pretty easy to fill. Like I was rarely like out of the meter when I needed it.
Okay.
But there are also items you can buy. They're like I think it's called melon juice, where if you don't have the meter fill, it'll replenish it for you. Um, and when you have like a Bonanza active, you can hot swap between them. So if I do like the Kong Bonanza and I'm like, oh shit, I need the ostrich, I don't have to like kill it, wait for the cooldown. I just hit the D-pad and I just switch into the ostrich.
Okay.
And you just keep going.
That's gonna be
And
crazy for speed runs.
I really want to see people speedrun this game,
Yeah.
especially with the Kong Bonanzas, and obviously the later levels. Once you have all of them unlocked, there's some like more difficult challenges where you have to use multiple, right? Where you're like, I'm gonna fly to this, do the zebra to run across this like texture that's gonna crumble if I use another character. Yeah, there's a lot there. I think speedrunners are gonna have fun with that.
Nice. Um.
I
Okay.
want to ask
So
a question
yeah,
if I
go.
could jump in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
The one thing I've wondered since looking at this game is it looks like, you're doing a lot of bashing, digging, tunneling, which looks really cool, but like, is that the game, or is there like, did you find that you were able to explore without doing a lot of that, or are you doing that constant, like, is this a button mashing platformer type of game? Because I've never
You,
played it. I think you two have, but I've
yeah,
never played it, so I really don't know exactly what I'm in store for yet.
you are destroying a lot in this game. You're
Okay.
constantly hitting. And it's cool. I have the layout side, but it's Y because that's like on the left of the face. Buttons is like the punch
Yeah.
forward. X is like punch above you. B is punch down. But
Hmm.
you're constantly destroying in this game
It's
because it's
yeah.
good.
I was like, it's how Echoes of Wisdom was like the Legend of Old Bed. Like this is very
Yeah.
much Donkey Kong just punching the shit out of stuff, like
Okay.
for an entire game.
There's a lot of it. I mean, there are a lot of levels where you're like straight tunneling through the ground, like you were completely submerged in earth, and you were like punching a tunnel to get from point A to point B. Every door or passageway is something you got to blast down. Yeah, you would not. I don't know if you'd make it off of like the ingot aisle tutorial if you were trying to do like a no hit sort of
So is there still a
run.
lot
Yeah,
of platforming?
there is. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think early on, I was a little underwhelmed with the platforming and the combat for that matter. I think the first like few layers, I was like, this is very easy. Like whenever it was time to like jump from thing to thing, I was like, okay, that is like the easiest part of this game. But once it ramps up and they've like given you all the tools and you've got some skills upgraded, they do start giving you some good platforming challenges. I was like, all right, this is good. This is the good stuff. Um,
Cool.
yeah, I think my Switch said I was at 15 hours when I rolled credits, which is like right in that Odyssey neighborhood. Again, it'll probably take most people, I imagine, more than that, depending on how many times you stop to do other things. There was a lot I left behind for myself, so
Yeah, when you're
it's one
playing
of
for
those.
review, you're gonna miss some stuff, either side
Yeah.
quests or whatever. And in the
Yeah.
case of every Zelda game that I've been playing for review lately, there's some sort of horse mission that I completely blow off until the very end. And then like I find out I could have had a horse in Echoes of Wisdom the whole game, and I like find it in like the last 20 minutes of my playthrough. I'm like, oh yeah, there's a horse over there. I just never walked that way. And then like in Tears of the Kingdom, there's that like lost spotted horse. It's like one of the first side quests you get. It was the last
Mhm.
side quest that I finished right before I fought the final battle. But yeah, I don't know what it is with me. Like when I'm playing things for review time, I always like end up missing something. But it's just you have to truck
Yeah.
through it. You have a limited amount of time to
Yeah.
play through the entire game, and you have to get to the ending to really judge these games. Uh, I'm curious, like, what you can talk about with respects to boss battles. Uh, because
Mhm.
Donkey Kong just beats the shit out of everything. Is he OP? Is it challenging enough,
Mhm.
or what do you think of the bosses?
Similar to how I felt about the platforming, I think early on the bosses are like ridiculously easy. I think the first like 3 to 4, maybe even 5 story bosses, I was like Kong Bonanza, spam punches, and they were gone
Yeah,
within like maybe a minute tops, but it was just like smash through them. And I think what originally concerned me with some of those is that I could see like the actual like loops of how those fights were supposed to go, and I was like, I'm not even getting to like whatever is supposed to happen. I just was like running up to him and just going, and you just when you're in Kong Bonanza, it's the strong one, so you can like hit through harder material. You kind of like overrule some of the defenses there. So very easy boss fights early on. Then again, there's a difficulty spike around halfway through. It's where they started to get a little more challenging, but I don't think I full died on a boss fight. Maybe once
did
throughout
you
the game. I like actually died.
did you play Tropical Freeze?
I did not. No, I did not play DK Tropical Freeze.
It's hard.
I don't know.
Like
I've
that's
heard
that's a
I've heard people say
difficult
that one was
game.
difficult.
So I was just kind of curious, like, where this is going to fall on the difficulty scale. It seems like it's probably easier than Tropical Freeze. It's also obviously a different genre, side scrolling versus 3D platforming.
Yeah.
Were there cool minecart missions?
A lot of minecart stuff. There's
Yeah?
a lot of minecart stuff. Yeah, there are multiple levels that use the minecarts. Some more than others.
Anything
There's
that resembles the Super Nintendo World ride?
You know, I mean, not specifically what's happening in that ride, but I guess the nature of it, sure, yeah, where you're like jumping and whatnot. Um, there's a cutoff in the game because it's by the layers. It's like layer 100 is the first level, layer 200, and they have sub layers to them. It's like layer 101, layer 201, 203. I have a cutoff of what I can mention and talk about in my review,
Oh, okay.
but there's a good use of the minecart stuff though throughout. I'd say, yeah.
And also, I should have just asked this too. Barrels. Are the barrels featured in the 2D as well as the 3D world?
They are all over
Yeah.
the game, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, especially in the 3D platforming. There are these creatures called Fracttones. They're like these blue rock-like creatures that live in the earth because you're underground the entire game.
Mhm.
They all have different like jobs and stuff. So they're like the vendors, but they're construction ones who they have like the hard hats and they'll charge you gold, and you pay them and they'll build like you'll do a platforming section and get to another area of a level, and they'll be like, "Hey, if you pay me 100 gold, I'll create a barrel, so next time you can just blast across that like open chasm
Oh,
and get
okay.
over here." Yeah, or you'll shoot back up here. Usually it's like near the end of a level or like a checkpoint area, so you don't have to like do the same platforming sequence over and over again. Those are helpful. They're called getaways, where they're like the fractone shaped like houses. I think I talked about this during the preview.
Yeah.
Where you pay them and they'll create like a little like carve out den in like a nearby wall for
You
you.
have like a hammock in your record player there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the bed, there's like the closet if you want to change your outfit and whatnot. Something I didn't realize during the preview, but playing the full game that's cool about the getaways is since there are multiple areas for that in each layer, the more times you do it in a layer, the better the benefit becomes. So like if you create a getaway and you sleep in it, you refill your hearts, of course, but then you also get like one bonus heart, like a yellow heart. You
Oh.
get added to your HP, yeah. But if for every additional getaway you build in a layer, you'll get an extra heart. So if you have like 3 getaways in a layer, you'll get 3 yellow hearts tacked on to whatever your max is when you sleep. So you're kind of incentivized, and again, that's like 200, 300 gold as you build more of them. They give you a ton of gold in this game, and then they charge you for it at every turn. There is one of the Fractones is like a butler. So sometimes I don't know, it only does this on some levels, but like when you make the getaway, the butler Fractone will pop up right at your getaway, and he'll be like, "Hey, we can offer any service." So I'll turn into the chip exchange or the clothing shop, and he'll like shapeshift his rock into that like merchant, and then you'll buy something from him, and he'll be like, "May we ask for a tip of 10 gold?" Um, so there's stuff like that. And every time I did it, then I had one time that
Wow.
I was hitting the B button, I said no, and he was just like, eh. And I was like waiting to see if something weird would happen, but it didn't seem like anything did. But they're good, and it's cool because sometimes you'll do the getaways, and because the way that like the terrain is set up, they'll like barrel through to create your little cutout, and then on the other side there'll be like a collectible, there'll be like a chest sitting over. It'll like open a cavern you didn't know was back there. So you are definitely like rewarded for interacting and engaging with like every system they give you, which I thought was a lot of fun.
Well, you know, in Japan they don't tip. There's no tipping culture in Japan at all. So
That's
that's
a good, I didn't think of that.
That's
That
interesting.
they put that in there. Yeah,
That's some localization stuff happening there.
yeah. I wonder if that's
Especially
like
now
a
when it's
jab.
like, yeah, like everyone's asking for tips now. Like everyone.
Yeah, it felt like that, like them playing into that. But I didn't even think of. You're right. That culture doesn't even exist over in the East. So
So you're thinking
definitely
like the
them poking fun
DoorDash,
at us.
the DoorDash effect on Donkey Kong Bonanza, basically.
Yeah.
Interesting. Uh, we haven't touched on this yet, but it's been a theme in all of the first reveal, the direct, overview trailers, anything we've seen. The music. How is the music in this game?
I dug the music a lot. So they showed it in the direct that when you get like a Bonanza, there's like a concert sort of thing where Pauline sings a song. There's a cutscene. There's like a platforming challenge associated with where you like learn how to use that Bonanza. But like every Bonanza has its own song. So there's like a Kong Bonanza song. There's a Zebra Bonanza song. There's an Ostrich Bonanza song, and so on. And they're all unique, and they play when you activate it. And even when you hot swap between them, like Pauline will change her song. And if you look at her, she's like singing. She's like on top of Donkey Kong, like doing her arms and singing each song. They're a lot of fun. I think that's the Zebra Bonanza, and then another song I don't think I can talk about. Those are my two favorite, but Zebra specifically, I love that song.
Hmm.
And you mentioned earlier there's a record player. You get like you can unlock the songs to play at your getaway. Whenever you're in the vicinity of it, you'll hear it. Interestingly enough, it's an interesting design choice. The when you unlock like records, they're not in the places you think they are. So like sometimes you'll just be like exploring a level, find a chest in the ground, get a record, and it'll be like the boss music from a boss 3 levels ago. Or like you'll be in a challenge layer and you'll destroy like a box and it'll be a a disc for music and it's just like one of the Bonanza songs. Like they don't it seems like there's no rhyme or reason. I don't know if they're randomized or not. I'll have to wait until other people play it to see, but it felt that way. They weren't really
Yeah, it kind
where
of
you were
sounds
expecting
like
them to
how the costumes work in Mario Kart World, where it's kind of like you're just rolling the dice every time you open a chest. Maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait until one of
Mhm.
us get a chance to play it.
There's definitely some sort of RNG happening in the background because early on there's a because again all the clothes have like stats and stuff tied to them where it's like oh you can swim 10% faster with this one on. There was something I had early I forget which article of clothing it was but it was like chests are like 10% more likely to appear when you're like digging through the ground. So I'm like okay so there's definitely some sort of like RNG like there's something happening in the back end that's like generating and making stuff pop up. So yeah, I think that felt random, but the music's great. The Pauline of it all, I mean, she is, I think it, to me, the heart of the story.
Hmm.
Uh, she's great. There was something they kind of stressed us when we were playing it. That they're like, hey, this is like Donkey Kong and Pauline's shared story,
Yeah.
not DK featuring Pauline. And she does kind of drive the narrative forward because when you are in those cutscenes, it's Donkey Kong, so he gets like the banana hard eyes. He's like, I want bananas. And then
He
it's
doesn't
Pauline's the one who
talk. He doesn't
yeah,
talk.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
he doesn't talk. Pauline talks. She talks in cutscenes. She's the one who's got like the ambitions of I need to get to the surface, blah blah blah. And DK's kind of just helping her along the way there. But yeah, I mean, whenever you do like a challenge course, they're always like boarded up. They've got like the tape over them. She's got to sing to get those to like open up. If you want to find like a waypoint, you can hold I think it's just L on the controller and she'll sing and like the music notes will like point you towards like the objective if you don't know where it is.
Oh.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, music is all over
So,
the game for sure.
did you play this in handheld and docked mode?
Almost probably 90% of my review I played docked.
Uh-huh.
Just because it looked the best and I wanted to obviously record it and stuff.
Yeah,
I did
you're
do a little bit of
capturing.
handheld.
Sure.
Yeah, and I thought it looked really nice in handheld as well. But
Did you
yeah, I
play
mainly played docked.
when you were playing it docked? Were you playing with a pro controller? Did you try Al Bundy mode at all, or um?
Docked, I played the Pro controller the whole time, I think.
Mhm.
Yeah, when I did my preview, I did have the Joy-Cons,
Yeah.
and I was doing like the mouse thing for co-op and whatnot. And obviously they've got like motion controls because you pick up a piece of terrain and you can just tap R to just throw it ahead of you, but you can also like hold it and it brings like a reticle and you can like aim with the right stick or you can gyro aim if you want. You can use the mouse to aim if that's what you
So
would
you
like to
can
do.
gyro aim with the pro controller in this game.
You can, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
know that's
I
a
think you
feature
can
in some
actually
games.
throw with the approach. If you're like holding something, you just do that. He'll just like chuck it
Just
ahead.
word to the wise: don't actually throw your pro controller.
No, no.
I
don't
had
do
a
that.
friend who came over. It was like the first week of the Wii, right?
Oh, no.
Oh
And
boy.
we were playing Wii bowling, and
Oh no.
That's the one.
he literally lets go of the Wiimote, and this is brand new Wiimote bounces it off the carpet. Like I'm like, dude, in what universe does it make sense that you were going to literally throw a video game controller? Anyway, don't do that in this game either. But
Yeah, no,
How
it's
is-
funny. No good, David.
How's the performance?
Glad you asked, because that was something I was going to make a point to mention before we wrapped up here. It is fine, but in some moments, not great. I believe that they even, I don't know where this came from, but I saw the headline going around that
It's
one
an
of the devs
IGN
had said,
interview, I believe.
okay, yeah, where they had it acknowledged like there might be some frame drops in moments of mass destruction, and I think it's very telling that they said that before the game came out. Um, Given that a lot of previous games, you know, you look at like Pokemon, so they kind of just let release and then let people discover the issues those games had.
I mean,
Uh,
come on, this isn't Pokemon levels of bad performance, is it?
it is not because Pokemon is more of a constant, but it's
Yeah.
like when you are in those like big destruction moments, and in this game there are a lot of them because
Yeah.
it's all about you can destroy everything. There are noticeable frame drops in docked, handheld. There are moments where like you'll hit like the base of something and the whole thing will like crumble, and you like it chugs. You notice it. The map looks it's a very cool map. It's like 3D. You can see like into the terrain. All the pins are like got this cool like effect to them. But when you pull up the map and it like zooms out, there's like a where you can see it kind of like, you know, chugging along, or if you like spin it too fast, you can see it like slow down. Um, Later in the game, there were a couple boss fights that do like, not getting spoilers, but do terrain effects, and in those you can see it, you can feel it chugging, definitely south of 30 FPS in those moments. Um, there are a few. Well, the one kind of challenge layer I didn't mention, there's a I guess you just call them gold rush, maybe challenges.
Yeah.
But it's like the whole point is just collect as much gold in like 30 seconds and they kick you out. It's just try to grab as much as you can. And in a couple of those where you can just like smash mountains of gold, that's another one where it's just like you start hitting stuff and you're like, okay, yeah, things are falling in slow motion and whatnot. And it's like in the grand scheme of things, it's not enough to where you're like, wow, I need to like put this game down until an update, right? I think Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is probably like the poster child for how bad it can get, right? Where that's a game where you pick it up and like
Yeah.
you might actually be like, I need to like not play this until they update this. I don't think DK gets into that territory, but I will say for it to be the first post-launch Switch 2 game, I did have a couple months where I playing and I was like, man, I thought we like were done with all this stuff. I don't think that'll be an issue with a lot of games 'cause I think uniquely Donkey Kong Bonanza is kind of biting off a lot with the destruction and stuff. But it's in there. It's in there. You're gonna notice it. I'm curious to see how that hits the general audiences because it is
I will
definitely
say
very noticeable in some sequences.
I will say historically in Mario games, those coin rooms, they tended
Yeah,
to chug.
there's some.
sometimes. Sometimes when you're in a room full of coins and you have to get as many of them before the song runs out, like, yeah, it'll chug. I did the way that they described it was like we knew it was happening, but we left it in
Mhm.
because it's still fun. Is kind of their
Sure.
attitude towards it, and I thought that
It
was
also,
interesting.
yeah, it also makes me think like since they're acknowledging it, maybe they're also planning to drop a patch that will kind of mitigate some of it.
Yeah, maybe that'd be interesting to see. There's so many just like things to consider there, right? Because it's like I think back to like the June Switch 2 reveal direct, right? We got our first dive into all these games, and Metroid Prime 4 Remastered was one of the few games they were specifically like, hey, there's like this, 4K 60 FPS mode, or you can do 1080, 120. They never like took Donkey Kong Bonanza and was like, this is the 4K 120 or,
I asked
making
every
it.
single demo,
Yeah.
Donovan, in April. I was like, what is this resolution and what is the
Mhm.
frame rate? And they wouldn't tell me any of them. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and that was not just Donkey Kong. That was Kart. That was every single station. They were being really cagey about that, except for Metroid Prime 4,
Yeah.
where they were like, come try the 120 hertz mouse gameplay.
Yeah.
It was like, cool, but like, that's the thing that I find so weird about this generation so far is that like, okay, now we're getting Donkey Kong, and there were people who were breaking down that first reveal trailer from April 2nd that were able to see frame drops, Donovan, from just that trailer, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we've known about this for a while, but there's like that discerning gamer audience, right? The ones that are on Twitter still. And then there's
Sure.
like the people who are just like, ooh, new Donkey Kong game, getting it. It's like I still think that there are, much like we saw with the blowback at the price of the Switch 2, like there were the people who are very vocal on the internet about it, and then there's everyone else who bought the thing. So I think we might see the same thing here. Like, nothing you're saying is making me be like, oh, I'm not buying Donkey Kong Bonanza at launch. It's just like,
No, not at all.
but it is disappointing that like we are talking about performance issues still, because like I agree, I thought we were past this, but we're not. Like there are going to be more games with issues on this system. It's just that like Nintendo's pretty good at optimizing stuff, so it's just interesting to hear them say this was a design decision that we left this in because we like having those destructible environments available to players, even if it hurts performance occasionally. Like, I think they're at least being honest about it more than they had in the past. But I do want to know, like, are we gonna get, like, how can you ship Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom in the state that they're in with these Switch 2 editions and then have this kind of appear again? Like, when you spent so much time talking about how great the performance was going to be on your system, for this to be your first flagship first party title, that's disappointing, Nintendo. It is. Like, but it's like 2 years from now, Donovan, there's a new Switch 2 and it fucking runs Donkey Kong Bonanza perfectly, right? So it's like, who knows? That is frustrating. I agree.
That was my thing, is like, it's fine if the game has moments where frames drop. I mean, there are PS5 games where frames drop. There are Xbox Series X games that have frame drops. It's the fact that it's the first post-launch big game. It's the one that is gonna have a huge set of eyes on it. It'd be like if I don't know, like if the Demon Souls remake came out and ran bad, or like Miles Morales ran bad on PS5 launch. Like, people would be like, "Whoa, what is going on here?" And I mean, we talk about it on the show, how people love to be cynical about Nintendo. And I'm like, you guys are not making it easy on yourselves. Like, people who want to dunk on the Switch 2 they're gonna throw alley-oops off that because they're like, it's the first big post-launch game.
And it's gonna be put up against Astrobot. And Astrobot runs extremely well with all sorts of destructible environments and particle physics and all that shit. So it's like, you're gonna have a direct comparison there, Nintendo. Even if you don't internally care, you're going to, because the last big 3D platformer was Astrobot, and that thing ran extremely well. So like, I think I do think that's why they held off on this new Mario. I think they're like, look, maybe we'll have a Switch 2 OLED by then, or a Switch 2 Pro by then that'll run better. But like, and maybe this is just, someone mentioned Minecraft, Donovan. I saw someone talking about the performance issues in Donkey Kong Bonanza, and they were like, when you blow up something massive in Minecraft, that game also chugs. Now,
it does,
but that's also a fucking 10, however many year old game. But I guess they brought it up because of the voxel physics mechanic of it, and like, it's just gonna be an issue when you have that many voxels on screen at once exploding. But yeah, like, what would it have taken, Nintendo, to not have the hardware limit this software? Because it doesn't feel like this is a software limitation. Like, what corner did you cut that it's just frustrating that it's a $450, $500 device for now, and in its first year, you're already seeing this. That being said, like, we saw this with Breath of the Wild in 2017.
Yeah, sure.
And that was still Game of the Year. So, it's very Nintendo situation that they find themselves in. I just found it weird that they were getting ahead of it. Like, before the reviews came out, that they like did this IGN interview. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, looking forward to playing it myself. But
it's a really good time. That is something that people are going to notice. I do, in the back of my mind, wonder, I'm like, if Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is like the technical showpiece, it's the one that you're confident saying in a direct is going to run at 120 FPS, 1080, whatever. Why not make that like the July game? Now, Nintendo, I'm sure they have their own internal forecast or algorithm why that's better to put that out later. But I do wonder, I'm like, I feel like that should have been what you swung first with. But I think the game is still a ton of fun. Worth mentioning, and I've not been able to test this. I wonder who or when we'll be able to see it, but this game technically can run on a Switch 1 through GameShare.
Yeah.
I specifically could not do that during the review period, but like, that's a thing they showed in the direct, that you can like beam it through local communication to a Switch 1 and they can play with you in co-op. And I'm like, what's that gonna look like? How, I'm just curious to see what that experience is going to be like.
Yeah,
I
you heard
didn't
me.
do-
You heard me hypothesize on what that could mean for future games, right? Like
Mhm.
if that kind of game share mechanic brought to a Mario Maker 3, and suddenly I have a tablet device that was my Switch 1 that is now a controller for my Switch 2. Like they could do all sorts of weird stuff with that. Um that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you gave it a
I do.
9 out of 10? What are you
I
giving it?
think.
What are you giving the score?
I think I'm at a 9. I think when I'll be honest. Earlier when I was playing about halfway through, I was like, this is probably like a firm 8. Because at that point, I think that like the combat was just fine. I think the platform was just fine. Um, I look forward to this. I'll say this: once this game is out and people have played it, we should come back and do a full spoiler podcast. Everybody's beaten everything,
Yeah,
and talk about like the back half and like the full picture of this game.
sure.
Because obviously, just due to the limitations of a review, there's only so much I can talk about. But I think that the game just gets stronger as it goes on. And by the time I finished it, I was like, hot damn! I was like, that was a really good time. So I think I landed a 9. Again, I think that although I just complained about how the terrain and physics cause like issues for performance, I think that it is still such an impressive like physics system where like again you can just tear. They call it tear chunk, where you just pull a piece off of like a wall or the floor, and you can objects have different hardness to them, and there's sand and dirt and gravel and concrete and gold, and there's like this full spectrum of stuff, and they all interact with each other differently. Gold's explosive, and you throw an explosive against concrete, it'll explode. And if there's like an object in the distance that you need to like hit a switch for, you can run and punch it, or you can roll into it, and DK's momentum will activate it, or you can just chuck stone at it from 10 meters away, and you can like aim the reticles that you arc it. Like there is a very cool like physics sandbox in there to play around with
And like
that I
how it
liked a lot.
interacts with the gameplay mechanics is really cool.
Yeah, yeah, it all kind of feeds right into each other. Breath of the Wild esque, right? Where there's just a lot of times where you're like, I wonder if I can like kind of do this, and you can, like dirt, right? Is like so soft, so it can't like you're not gonna break a wall with dirt, but if you throw dirt at a wall, it'll stick to it, and if you throw dirt onto that dirt, it'll stick to it again, and you can build like weird little like platforms for yourself. And I had times where I did that to like get a Banandium gem, and I was like, I don't think that's the way I was supposed to get over there. Um, so yeah, it's a very fun system to mess around with. The game tracks all of it, so when you're in a layer, and that again, that's probably what contributes to some of the performance, but like everything you've destroyed stays destroyed unless you when you open the map, there's like a reset terrain button, but like it all stays there. You can go back and find like a hole you dug or things you punched through. There are NPCs that will tell you, and I got to look at what unit of measurement this is. They'll be like, hey, you've destroyed 26,000, and then it was like M3. I'm not a scientist. I don't know what that unit of measurement is. But you've destroyed 28,000.
That's cubic meters.
Okay, there you go. Cubic meters of like stone on this level. And they'll be like, hey, if you destroy like 30,000, I'll give you a banana. And you can like.
But then again, it could be like monkeyium. I don't know what they're talking
Yeah.
about.
See, they put a pun on everything, so I was expecting it to be like some weird like Donkey Kong like I don't know, banana
Yeah,
float
like
or something.
if it was B3,
know-
it would have made more sense. But like M3,
Mhm.
it seems like maybe cubic meters. But like, I
It'd
don't
be
know.
hilarious if they're calling it like Bananergy and then they expect you to know cubic meters.
Like metric suddenly.
Some 5-year-old's
Unless-
like, what's cubic metric, Dad?
I was that 5-year-old. Unless I missed it, it's never explained. They just say it's like M, and then it's was a cube, just like to
Yeah,
to the third
that's
power.
gotta be
Yeah.
cubic
Yeah.
meters. But okay,
Very
okay,
very
Nintendo.
Nintendo of them. But it's cool that you can look at your stats. They'll ask if you want to see them, and it'll pull up a graph, and it'll be like bars, and it'll be like dirt, so it's like brown, and it'll be stone, and it'll show you like how much you've destroyed versus what's in the level. Again, the completionists, the people who just want to like bust every level down and strip it completely. I mean, you are gonna spend 100 hours plus in this
I
video
think
game.
that's the right term for this game, Donovan. It's not a collectathon, because collectathons are Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, where it's like you have to get these 8 red coins and these 8 yellow coins and these 8 blue coins, and you have to use this monkey to do it. This is more, it's a completionist game. It's you have to do something to get that Banandium gem. It's not, It's not like the collectathons of old, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's more of a 3D platformer completionist game, which that's what Astrobot was too. Finding those little guys was like the completionist part of Astrobot. And 100%ing all the stars in Mario 64, right? That was a completionist game. It wasn't a collectathon game.
And honestly, even with the Banandium gems, I mean, I would say even Mario Odyssey, I guess maybe is more of a collectathon, because in Odyssey it was like the moons were what would prohibit you from progressing the game, right? Because the ship would be like, hey, you need to get 120 so that we can power up the moon. Your progression in DK Bonanza isn't actually tied to the Banandium gems. Like, it's just objectives. Let's go to this place, fight this enemy, get to this area. The Banandium gems are so how you upgrade skills, which I realized I didn't really touch on, because it's like a full-on RPG where there's a skill tree and you can increase your punch power. You can increase how much HP you have. You can unlock a spin jump attack. And then each of the Bonanzas have like little columns of like you can improve their effectiveness. And the Banandium gems is how you get skill points. It's like every 5 or 6 maybe you get like 1 skill point. And then as you go, some skills need 2 skill points, some need 3. It goes up to like 5 to upgrade a skill. So that's really just for like your character building.
Have they ever done that in a platformer?
I don't know. It seemed very
I don't think so.
un-Nintendo. Yeah. There's like
I've never seen anything like that in like a Mario platformer or any 3D platformer from Nintendo. That's interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was unique. It was crazy that I felt this way playing a Nintendo game, but at one point I was like, I kind of wish I had transmog, because again, it's like you're getting all these outfits and stuff, and it's like this one, decreases your poison damage, or this one, apples heal more hearts and whatnot. And some of them looked cool, some of them looked stupid. And I had moments where I was like running around with, like, weird looking ties and stuff, and I was like, I wish I could just make this look like the golden DK tie or whatever. But yeah, there's a good amount of like customization. Even Pauline, like the stuff you put on her will give you like boosts. And then even from there, like you use like a relic to buy a jacket for her that increases like a damage resistance thing. But then you can go back and like buy the level 2 version of it that increases the damage resistance. Like there's a like actual a gear system is, I guess, the best way to describe it in that game. Which,
so here's a question. I don't know if you can answer this, but I'm just kind of curious what you think. Is this a system seller?
Yes, I think so. I think DK is big enough. It's been long enough since he's had a game like this. I heard someone bring up a point recently that like it has been so long since we got like a Nintendo internally developed like Donkey Kong game. 'Cause, I mean, it was so much of that studio that franchise has been like Rare and then Retro. That this has been like such a long time coming. That yeah, definitely. And it being the Odyssey team, yeah, 100%. And the fact that it's exclusive, it's not on Switch 1.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think kids will love this game. I don't think they'll get past like the second level, but I think they'll love it because they'll just destroy everything.
I think you hand it over to your parents, and then you get on the Joy-Con and you play as Pauline.
Pauline, yeah, that's true. And there's an assist mode as well, which I'm sure makes it a lot easier. But
interesting.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to do great. I think it's going to probably do very well compared to previous DK games, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's been a long time for Nintendo to make a Donkey Kong game. And clearly, like, we can hit on this other news, like Nintendo's investing in this IP beyond this game. There's Universal Pictures and Nintendo Pictures have filed a copyright for a Donkey Kong movie.
They did, yeah. That somebody on Reset Era saw. This was in the U.S. Copyright Office, and it looks like, according to this, was actually filed in June, and then just, as these legal filings go, nobody saw it until just now. But it says specifically Untitled Donkey Kong Project, motion picture. And it's Party 1 Nintendo Studios, Party 2 Universal Pictures, which, it's in plain words, Donkey Kong movie. So, at the very least, it seems like they're working on it. Obviously, not every copyright becomes an actual thing, but...
Do you think this is also Seth Rogen?
It has to be, right? It's got to be. I mean, it's hit that was,
I love the Mario movie, but it hurt my soul to hear the Seth Rogen laugh.
I love continuity. Monkey paw curls.
Yeah. Continuity means that.
Yeah, you're right.
But that's what they did though when they cast that movie. They hitched their wagon to Chris Pratt and Seth Rogen, and that's just the foreseeable future. I don't think they're gonna recast those actors or
Jack
those roles.
Black.
Jack Black, yeah, they're here for the long haul for sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The guy who plays the old Toad guy. You know?
I think it was. Oh, you're talking about the one who had like the deep voice. Yeah. I forget his. Yeah.
Like, it sounds so serious.
He was good. I liked him a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll probably get a Seth Rogen starring Donkey Kong movie. That said, it's Donkey Kong, so now they'll have to like color in that surrounding cast, right? So they're gonna have to cast Dixie and Diddy Kong and put all
maybe
the
Pauline.
the families in there. That'd be really cool. You bring Pauline in, yeah.
I know you can't talk about the ending at all.
I can't. Nope.
Can you? Yeah, I'm not even gonna ask. I'll ask you.
Yeah,
I'll ask
we
you
can talk
off the stream, off the podcast. I'll ask you a question about the ending, but honestly, I just want to enjoy it myself. I saw some retailer broke street date on it, so there are physical copies of the game that are already out in the world. There are leaks.
Yeah, of course.
So just be vigilant on the internet. Or just don't go on the internet until the game comes out. Like, if you don't have to.
All I'll say is it is definitely a story-based game, and you should preserve the experience for yourself. It's the best way out.
David is not okay with this. He's just like, it's a story.
Don't get me wrong. It's not The Last of Us of Donkey Kong, but I mean, it's, there's a.
No.
They
I know what you mean.
For you in the direct.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just old enough to be like, Donkey Kong story. Go get the bananas, kid. Like that's the story.
It is fun though because they do this thing where like characters will talk to you throughout the game and they'll be like, so like, what are you trying to do or what do you need to know about? And like there will be like the serious dialogue option of like the story progressing thing, and then there's like bananas. It's just always like the second option. They'll be like, all right, like what do you need? And you can be like, oh, how do we get to the planet core? Or you could be like bananas. Which I thought was funny. They just put that through the whole game. So I mean,
it's kind of like my old Twitter polls where it'd be like, yes, no, maybe, banana. Nice.
Yeah,
banana.
It is not like that. Yeah, they play it straight. With the whole time through, they're like, no, Donkey Kong just wants bananas. Like Pauline's the one who's like trying to like do something, grand here, which I enjoyed.
Is there a song in this game as big as Jump Up Superstar? Without spoiling anything. Is there a song? No.
I will say no with the caveat that I think Jump Up Superstar is probably my favorite original song ever composed for a video game.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I'll ever play a game and be like, that's on the level of Jump Up Superstar.
Sure, that's fair.
But they do some very cool and exciting things with the music in this game is what I will say.
Nice. Sorry, Dave, do you have anything else?
No, this sounds really cool. I'm looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, I am also looking forward to playing it. Thank you for reviewing it, Donovan. I'm glad I didn't have to.
Yeah, thank you for letting me review it. That was fun. I was never like the biggest DK kid, so it was cool. Kind of.
I was gonna bring that up. This is the only thing that worried me. This is still the only thing that worried me. Because you didn't play Tropical Freeze. Did you play the other DKC games like DKC 1, Diddy's Conquest, DKC 3?
I played the original Country, I think, at a friend's house a few times, like sleepovers.
Because
I remember that one, but
like
I don't.
What I think an old like myself or David may detect while playing this game, and this is no offense to you because you were like an infant or not even born yet, but like there's going to be some references in this to past Donkey Kong games that probably went over your head.
Probably, most likely. I'm not ashamed to admit that they probably did.
But like, just from the trailers I've seen, I'm like, they are doing some shit that like someone who's like a video game music fanatic like myself, like I'm losing my mind over just the idea that Pauline is singing over like 8-bit songs, like remakes of 8-bit songs. Like what they're gonna do with that in this game has me excited because like I think there's gonna be like for all ages. There's gonna be like different things that like really stick out about this game, and that's like that Nintendo attention to detail is the stuff that like drives me crazy in their games. So I hope there's some surprises on that front too, Don, because I'm sure, guaranteed, you didn't pick up on all of them. But like,
No, not all of them. I'm not ashamed to say that because there was stuff I did pick up on. There were things I heard that I was like, okay, I know what this is for sure. And things I saw that I was like, okay, I know that's pointing at this. But I'm sure some of it went over my head.
Because like, there's some songs, man. Like that is like the Donkey Kong, like the whole library. You look at the whole franchise's library. There are some amazing songs that they could have picked from, and like, this is the kind of week where you put some of those on Nintendo Music, Nintendo. Like, you're like, hey, here's the 8-bit DK soundtrack. Like, just get people excited for the franchise doing stuff like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Get off your ass, Doug Bowser, and do something for once. Instead of talking to IGN.
I do love you calling out Doug Bowser.
Look, I want to do his... I want his job. I've made it abundantly clear. Like, I'm coming for you, Doug Bowser. He got hired just because his last name is Bowser. Convince me otherwise.
Look,
they looked at his resume like, EA, fine. Bowser. Oh, okay. You're hired.
I'll just like change my mind.
Yeah, I'm the change my mind me. Doug Bowser got hired because of his last name. Change my mind. Someone go make that meme. As an aside, AI has ruined my enjoyment and sharing of memes on the internet. Sorry.
It's gotten really bad.
Every time I look at a meme now, I'm like, hey, should I share this? Is this bad? Like, was it... Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, Donkey Kong movie. Obviously happening. Good to know.
Makes sense.
And then, yeah, like, you look back to the Epic Universe trip you went on, Donovan, like, Universal and Nintendo, like, before this movie's even announced, had a Donkey Kong Country in the amusement park. So, like, it's that amusement park and the film effort, like, there's this intertangling of what's going on in those two. And Miyamoto's at the center of both.
Can we acknowledge the full circle moment that this is? That the character Kirby was named after the lawyer who helped Nintendo win their lawsuit against Universal over Donkey Kong because of King Kong decades ago. And here we are in 2025, and Nintendo and Universal are going to make a Donkey Kong movie together. That's beyond full circle. That's like we've looped like multiple times. It's weird that that's the reality now, but it's cool.
Yeah, how time changes everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that is wild. So yeah, guys, I played some other games on Switch 2 over the weekend. So, as I said last week, if I didn't play F-Zero 99 before this episode, I was going to die. Spoiler alert, I'm not dead! So guess what? I played F-Zero 99 on the Switch 2. And I told you this was going to be the final part of my Switch 2 Pro Controller review, Donovan, right? I was like, I need to test this D-pad in an intense gaming environment, right? Which, Tetris Effect, it can be intense, but it can also be chill, right? And I went through the entire journey mode, played Tetris Effect on my Switch 2, didn't have any egregious errors. I did have like one hard drop that was an accidental input, but it wasn't like, it might have been user error. Flash forward to this weekend, which, I took the day off after playing Tony Hawk on stream. If you guys want me to put up 1,000,000 points in a combo, like, I might not be able to use my hands for a few days. Just to throw it out there. I'm old. So I took Saturday off of playing video games, and then late night Saturday, I'm like, I gotta play some F-Zero 99. Fired up, playing it with the Pro Controller. I did 3 races. 90th place, I died. 8th place, and then 90th place. And the third race, it was on Red Canyon 1. I don't know if you guys know these levels, but Red Canyon 1 has a lot of jumps on it. And it's like a jump that you want to hold down on the D-pad when you're going off of a jump. It gives you more airtime, right?
Yeah.
So I'm holding down on the Pro Controller, and it registers it as a down and to the left input. Flying me right off the level, killing me. And I was in like 3rd place. This has infuriated me. And I go, okay, enough's enough. I dig out my 8-bit dough, and I realize a few things about my 8-bit dough. It is still synced to my Switch OLED, so I had to figure out how to make the console forget that. And it needs a firmware update, because this is why I hadn't played F-Zero 99 at launch, because there was no third-party controller support at all. 8-bit dough has this really easy to install thing. You just plug your controller into your computer, run the app, it updates your firmware. So I got my 8-bit dough plugged into my Switch 2 now. First race with the 8-bit dough after 90th, 8th, 90th. I fucking win.
Yeah.
I will never use a Pro Controller 2 again in F-Zero 99. It is garbage. It is trash for F-Zero 99. That D-pad. How has Nintendo fucked up the D-pad so badly? You invented the perfect D-pad. And just because your patent ran out, oh, we have to reinvent fucking D-pads for the next 10 years. No! Just use the fucking D-pad you already have. It's great. It's fucking great.
Which one do you consider perfect? For me, it's the Super Nintendo D-pad.
Sure. Yes.
They are different.
Yes.
Like the NES one hurts my thumb.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about the NES one. I'm talking about the SNES one. I'm talking about that larger footprint one. But I'm also talking about the 8-bit dough, right? Like, I'm just talking about the one that you see, or like, I think Hori has a Joy-Con attachment for the original Switch that has a better D-pad on it. Like, D buttons suck, and the D-pad on the Pro Controller, it's better for a lot of games. Like, if you're playing Mario Kart World and you just need to push down for rewind, no big deal. In Zelda or whatever, if you're using it for that input, no big deal. But if you need precision and you're playing a game like F-Zero 99, I do not recommend the Pro Controller 2. And I'm just happy that 8-bit dough like went through the effort to support their legacy hardware on Switch 2, because like I didn't have to buy a new controller. And like it's also just I do want to bring this up. It also might be where the D-pad is located. I love offset analogs, but in the case of a D-pad, going back to your point about the SNES controller, David, I like the placement of the D-pad if you do it in like a PlayStation style controller with the analogs both in the middle. So that's how the 8-bit dough actually works. It puts the D-pad more prominently on the top left of the controller. So I guess it's a combination of those things. But it's also just the actual, like, real estate on the device, on the controller, is bigger on the 8-bit dough D-pad than it is the Switch 2 or the Switch 1 Pro Controller D-pads. It's just frustrating, man, because they had it. Everyone's using their old patent. Like, it's now public domain. Everyone's using it. I understand Nintendo wants to be proprietary, but it's still worse. Like, it's still worse than third-party options, and that sucks. So I'm not like saying it's the worst controller ever or anything, but I'm just saying, like, for my specific niche cases where I want a D-pad controller, I'm still gonna go third-party, and that's just a shame, because Nintendo should be better than that.
Especially with the cost of the Switch 2 Pro controller.
Yeah, it costs like what, $80, $90? Like,
I think it's $90.
$90.
I think it's 80 or 90. You're right, but I think it's 90.
I think Donovan's googling that shit.
I am.
But
84.99, so 85.
Oh,
it'll be 90 once you get tax and all that in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, 85. Yeah.
God help us, these tariffs are coming too. So like, who knows what these will cost after August 1st, right? Like, there's apparently a ton of tariffs that have been announced. We'll see what happens.
I do want to say something, and it's going to sound like I'm doing a bit, like I'm doing the generation age thing. But I think that because the controllers I grew up playing with were mainly like the Xbox controller, the GameCube controller, which had like the analog sticks and whatnot on it. Like, I don't use D-pads often in games unless it's something that like is specifically designed for it. So I haven't noticed any issues with it on the Switch 2 Pro Controller. I think it's probably my favorite Nintendo controller that I've played with. And my much more limited experience. But I need to. I don't know. I might have to boot up F-Zero or something, or maybe Tetris for deep dive testing.
Like you probably have Tetris 99. You could install that if you have if you have Switch Online. I would recommend Tetris to test it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's better than the Pro Controller 1.
That's where I stand. Yeah. That's where I stand. Yeah. Favorite Nintendo controller still GameCube, even though it's like
controller.
Yeah. Even though the C stick was kind of dumb.
That D-pad was too small.
That D-pad was miniature. Yeah, but that was I like the way it fits in the hand. I like the triggers. I feel like they've taken step backwards with triggers for generations now. Or to the point where they don't even have triggers. They're just shoulder buttons. They're glorified shoulder buttons. Right. Yeah. I would recommend either Tetris, even like Suika Game.
That's a good one. Suika Game's a good one. That's one I don't want to do the analog stick one.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would recommend something like that, Dom, like a puzzle game or like
or a 2D platformer. Like go on since you just reviewed Donkey Kong Bonanza, fire up Super Nintendo Switch Online and try.
Oh yeah, they do
Country.
Yeah,
they have all three. If you want to get serious into it, like 2 and 3 are the best, but any of them, like use the D-pad on that and see what you think of it. Because that's where I use D-pad still is 2D platformers. I have to have a good D-pad. I find the analog stick too imprecise.
You know what's weird? I don't know when it happened. I think it was the new Super Mario Bros. I went from D-pad to analog in those games. So like even Mario Maker, I clear my levels using an analog joystick. Which is crazy.
Wow.
Which is absolutely crazy. I understand. That sounds nuts. But I think it's like my brain got programmed for platforming with an analog because of 3D Mario games. So then when they brought back 2D Mario games, I was like, well, I'm going to stay on this analog thing. So like with Mario games, I don't have to use a separate one. But when I'm building a Mario Maker level, David, to your point, I like the precision of a D-pad. Right. So even though I'm not playing it with it, I do build with it. It's no big deal. Like most people, if you were a third-party controller user, you already have one from the last 8 years. So it's just cool that I didn't have to buy a new one. Like it just worked. So it's like it's a minus for the Pro Controller, but I'd say it's a plus for the actual hardware, the Nintendo Switch 2, that they allowed support of legacy controllers. Because they could have been total dicks. They really could have been dicks and made everyone license Switch 2 hardware over again and make them all go through that song and dance again. At least, like, I didn't have to, like, jump through too many hoops. But I was worried for a second when I couldn't get my 8BitDo to sync before I updated the firmware. I was like, oh no, am I going to have to, like, only have my Switch OLED around just for F-Zero 99? Because I was about to do that. I was about to like have my F-Zero 99 machine just be my OLED. Performance wise, I didn't see any changes, but the game already ran well, so it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, win number 14, guys. Mute City Mirror Track, Mute City 3.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a good one. I'll upload the video here. But I wanted to save that news for this podcast. But yeah, literally, first race with the 8BitDo.
Yeah.
I can't say any... That is the most damning evidence I could have brought to this podcast. I'm sorry, Switch 2 Pro Controller. You're just not the one. You're so damn close. Maybe Switch 3 Pro Controller will get it right. Probably not. But, like, it's just frustrating, man. They invented the damn D-pad.
Yeah.
And they've just been, like, fumbling over themselves to reinvent it. It's like, no! Just use the one!
The objectively best D-pad that Nintendo ever made might be the Wii U Pro Controllers.
Yes!
That was a really
I actually think the
D-pad.
Wii U Pro Controller might be peak Nintendo controller.
Yeah.
Because it had triggers, too.
Yep.
It's kind of like they took a step back with Switch 1 and then they're trying to fix it with Switch 2. Yeah. But yeah, I just I was excited to play some F-Zero 99. I also I watched this Digital Foundry video where they broke down the GameCube emulation and
Mm-hmm.
what they are calling, like, they broke down there's serious input latency.
Yeah.
Especially bad in F-Zero GX. It's like 50 milliseconds worse. It's about 3 frames, according to Digital Foundry's research, that are being dropped relative to native GameCube F-Zero GX, which already had a little bit of latency already. But they did a great video breaking it down, factoring in the latency of the television and everything else. So, like, they do good work over there. Their conclusion was that, like, yeah, you're gonna notice it in a game like F-Zero GX where it's like pinpoint turns and stuff. It's not a big deal in Wind Waker, single player game, and there are frame drops or not drops, but there is input latency in Soul Calibur 2 as well. They did a really good job of breaking down not just like the emulation of it, but like how the originals handled that, because GameCube games were kind of weird. Mario Strikers, for instance, tried to run at 60 FPS in the gameplay, but the cutscenes were 30 FPS. But I think another problem going on is that 60 FPS on GameCube was actually 59.94 frames per second.
Oh, yeah.
So now they're making Switch 2 GameCube emulated games that run at 60. You see what I'm talking about. There's a little bit of translation issues happening here. And they had it like it was every 16 seconds you could see it in an F-Zero gameplay. So that's like enough where it's like gonna fuck with you if you're racing. So someone who like F-Zero GX is not my favorite F-Zero, but I like it and I would like to play it again. I have not even fired it up on this GameCube app because like I have it for GameCube. I'll just go play it on GameCube. But that's it's disappointing. It's like, once again, Donovan, like I'm seeing things about this where I'm like, I thought we were past this. But then again, on the Switch Online stuff, we have not been past this. Like Ocarina of Time, when they ported that over to their N64 app, that ran like complete dog shit. There's better, like some of these games, they just need to bring over those the 3DS 3D remakes, like Ocarina of Time 3D, Star Fox 64 3D, like those games, Mario 64 3D. Those games ran great on their hardware, but obviously whatever the hell that resolution is way smaller than what they're aiming for now. But yeah, I did find it interesting to see Digital Foundry's research on, I think are there only 3 games out on GameCube right now?
Well, Strikers was the 4th, right?
4th. Okay, yeah, it's Wind Waker, it's Soul Calibur, it's F-Zero, and then it's Strikers. Yeah, so it's 4 games. And out of the 4 games, all of them are showing some sort of frame rate issue or latency issue.
Right.
So it's like, come on, guys.
Well, that will become a much louder conversation if the rumor we talked about last week proves to be true about Smash. If Smash comes, that's when people are going to start like noticing and making noise about that if it becomes an issue.
The thing is,
especially online,
it's Smash 64, which is
the
worst.
No,
it's not bad. No, it's not bad, but it's the worst of those games.
No, Brawl's worse.
Oh yeah, I forgot Brawl exists.
They added tripping. You trip for no fucking reason in that game. Fuck that game in particular. Fuck that game in particular. But you're right. It's not. I guess my point is, it's not a well-liked game. It's not some 30-year esport, right? Like Melee. Like Melee is this, held in high regard game. 64 is not, and so I don't know if they'll care. But it's also the Smash Online community that we're talking about, Donovan. So of course they're gonna complain. Like, of course, someone's going to be mad about something because it's Smash on the internet. I'm more worried about, like, not frame rate in that as much as I am online play. But yeah, because the online play in, like, an N64 F-Zero X game has never been that good. But yeah, it's like such a cool idea, bringing these games to online. But this whole peer-to-peer thing, and it just hasn't been executed well. Not one of these, like, I can't think of one. Like, maybe Mario Golf for 64? We can all, like, play online or something, but, like, because that's asynchronous, that's not that big of a deal if there's latency among multiplayer. But, like, Soul Calibur is probably the closest we've had to, like, a good experience, but even that had its latency issues. So I want Nintendo to figure out the internet. I feel like they're kind of figuring it out at times. Like Mario Kart World, I think is still running pretty well for me. We haven't had any issues on streams. I have heard a lot of people complaining about the Wi-Fi performance of Switch 2, but like don't play Mario Kart World on Wi-Fi. What are you doing? Don't do that. You're part of the problem if you're doing that.
You know, I guess it depends on your setup. It could be tough to get that Ethernet in, but I have mine. Mine's hardwired. Unless I'm in handheld, I'm always on wired when we.
But
play
would
online
you
with
play
Switch
Kart
2.
World online in handheld?
Kart World, not usually, but when we were doing Road to 96, I played the majority of those streams in handheld because I was sitting at my desk and my Switch was in my living room, so I had to do a lot of 8 stuff handheld and Wi-Fi, which was whatever. But yeah, I mean, Nintendo and online play is going to be a conversation, I think, till the end of time, probably.
Yeah, but now they have like they're paying money for Duskbloods to come to this platform, and like that's going to be an online From Software game, and if that online sucks, like I don't know. It just seems like this. I don't like that we're starting to see similar issues, like that they're starting to pop up again. But we'll see how much this really affects the overall enjoyment of games. And also, like, I don't know. How long, like, did you guys play Strikers at all? Like, since it came out? No?
I have not booted it up yet, no.
Did you have it back in the day, Donovan? I know you were a GameCube kid. Did you ever have that game?
I did not know. No, I wasn't, was never into soccer, so I didn't really touch those games until I got much older.
Did you have the baseball Mario
Sluggers,
game?
yeah, I played Sluggers. I liked Sluggers.
It was real good. I don't know why.
I didn't have Strikers. I didn't have Strikers either. My brother did. I have never played the GameCube game, so I wasn't particularly like excited about this. Not excited.
Yeah,
but I had no frame of reference.
Yeah, exactly. I can tell you, as someone who likes soccer video games, but also someone who likes Mario sports games, this is one of the best. This is the best Mario soccer game, which is kind of damning to the rest of the franchise that this is the best.
Yeah.
But it is, and it's I like the polish they bring to these with like the 16:9 presentation and stuff, and like slightly better graphics and up-resing it or whatever. But yeah, it's just weird. I maybe they'll bring the baseball game next. That'd be nice.
That'd be my hope.
Yeah, that I think the baseball game and Strikers, they were two of the better sports titles from the Camelot era. I did see a rumor, which I don't know what qualifies a rumor on Nintendo media these days, but like there's a rumor that Camelot is close to being done with their next project. So there might be a Mario sports title that we haven't heard of yet that's coming out soon. That wouldn't surprise me. I'm just not sure what sport it would be. Probably not golf.
I mean, if they're going in order, it has to be. If they're doing all of them, you'd assume they have to do either baseball or basketball, right? The only ones they haven't done since the Switch came out. They've kind of gone through the catalogs where they've done tennis.
Yeah,
golf.
they can't do tennis again. Like
yeah, that'd feel kind of lame to Sluggers if you just skipped over it and looped back around to tennis again.
Yeah, they can't do tennis again. They're not going to do golf so close to their last golf release.
Yeah.
And
hey, depending on if you announced it, I don't know, at a July Nintendo Direct, you could have your baseball game out by the World Series. Not that they care about that at all, but that's this fall. So fall's baseball season still.
Yeah. And they care. I don't know. Japan cares about baseball, so
That's true.
like
That's
they.
true.
And Otani is super popular right now. Like it's a big deal over in Japan. But even before Otani came over here, like Japan has its own professional league. That's like, it's the second best professional league in baseball.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it was like, but yeah, like I think, Nintendo used to own the Mariners. There's a lot of love for baseball inside that company, so it would not surprise me if that's the one. I would like to see them try something else, like maybe like volleyball or.
I want them to do gridiron American football.
Football! Oh, dude! Mario football?
Put Charge and Chuck on the offensive line.
That'd be great. I would also like to see a Mario hockey game.
Hockey? Yeah.
Hockey would be
Yeah.
good.
Mario hockey would be great. Mario hockey and Mario football, dude. Would it be like 7-on-7, Donovan? Like what are you thinking? Like NFL Blitz? Like NFL Blitz, but with Mario characters and power-ups.
Oh.
Dude, Doug Bowser, get on it.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. That's one of those where I'm like, I would want it. I don't know what the international appeal would look like for that. Maybe not very high, but Americans would love it.
Well, to your point, football is coming to the Olympics as flag football, which is 7-on-7. So
that is true.
Now you have me so excited, dude. Like what? Who's the quarter? Like, can anybody be any position?
Oh yeah, do you just like build your roster when you start, or is it like all-time QB, like Mario's the quarterback?
Yeah,
he's a wide receiver.
Who would the running back be? Donkey Kong?
Maybe. I think you just have it set as teams, right? Like maybe there are just 8 teams, and you just pick between them. And there's like the Mushroom Kingdom team. There's Donkey Kong Country. They can fill in the rest. They can make it work.
The characters
like
from
evil team.
Obviously, you take Mario's dad and you make a team out of those people.
Oh yes. Dude, Bowser and his Koopalings could be a team. Just throw all of them on a roster. You could do like the Wario Waluigi team. Toad could have a team. It's very doable. I think that could be fun. That could be a really cool thing.
Would Coin Coffer have a team?
Coin Coffer can be like in the audience, when they like cut to like the characters jumping around. That's where we're gonna put Stingby and Coin Coffer and everybody else who was playable in Mario Kart World.
Dude, I was just clearing P-switches last night. I'm over 100 or whatever right now on P-switches, but like, and there's like a swarm of Stingbees just out in the world, Donovan. And I was like, Donovan would especially hate this place.
Well, they're serving the purpose as NPCs. That's where Stingby's supposed to be, flying around.
They were attacking me. It was so random. I like finished some like flying through the trees P-switch mission, and then I land right next to like 6 Stingbees, and they start chasing me. I'm like, what the? It made me hate the character even more. But yeah, oh, by the way, if you haven't, check out the Summer Games Done Quick Mario Kart World run. At one point, they shouted out the cow mains, and there was like a third of the crowd at Summer Game Done Quick goes moo all at once. And I was like, yeah. We are out there in force, man. A third of your crowd is out there mooing.
And they've got like a gentleman's agreement when they speedrun like Moo Moo Meadows. It's like all cow. Like when you look on like YouTube, everyone trying to get the world record, they're all playing as cow.
And like the crowd, every time they saw a cow during the stream, they were mooing. We are literally it's like a Zoran Mamdani like movement happening in Mario Kart World.
It's a groundswell.
It really is. And the establishment doesn't want to accept us cow mains, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're going to make Moo Moo Meadows affordable for all cows.
There you go.
I love it.
I know where that one was going. You're like, we're going to make Moo Moo Meadows. I was like, uh-oh.
No fucking way. No. My hat is black. I have a black hat on with no words on it. Anyway, but yeah, like I thought it was really funny, but also a great run. The run that they chose to do was all the knockout tours as fast as possible. But yeah, it's fun to watch. Apparently Bowser is the fastest character. I had no idea.
Oh. That's interesting. I know they've got like those like micro hidden stats or whatever in there, so
I think when they say fastest, they mean top speed. So it's kind of like Samurai Goro and F-Zero, where Goro has the worst acceleration but the highest top speed. So if you don't make mistakes, it's good to rock Samurai Goro. I think it might be similar with Bowser. I'm still trying to unlock all those stupid costumes in that game. It's taking me forever. I don't like the gate that they put up, like the time-based one, where it's like, come back tomorrow and you might get another one. But I did find some funny ones. Did you know there's like aristocrat costumes with like monocles and shit?
Yes.
I've seen the Boo one. Boo has one, right?
Yeah.
I've only seen the Boo one. I've only seen that.
I got it for someone else too. Oh, Yoshi. I got a Yoshi aristocrat.
That's good.
I was like, that's solid. Also, I got a vampire Waluigi.
That's one of the ones that has like a unique like animation. If you hit the like trick button in the air, he'll do like the cape.
Yes.
He'll like turn to the camera and like open the cape.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was impressed by those. I got a couple Oasis outfits. I found all the baby outfits, I think, at this point. But like, I'm just I'm trying to like, I don't know if I'll ever 100% that game. I will say that the B button is accelerate in F-Zero 99. The A button is accelerate in Mario Kart World. I don't like that. I was going to go on record as saying that's annoying. Also, the boost, like the timing and the boost is different in both games. So I want to get done with this Mario Kart World review, but I figured, what's the point in posting it the week that Donovan posts his Donkey Kong review? So, maybe next week. We'll see. I got a couple other things that I'm trying to knock out, but yeah, I'm still enjoying Mario Kart World, and I'm still enjoying free roam. Like, that's the value to me, because I am able to find satisfaction in a racing game that rewards racing skill. So much so that I took 6 weeks off, guys. Longest break I've had from that game since it launched. And I came back and I won. I'm just saying, like, I don't go to Mario Kart World for that kind of enjoyment, that kind of fun. I don't think I will ever do that. But yeah. Is there anything else? Like, what else do you guys? I know, Donovan, you've been stuck in the Donkey Kong mines. Have you guys tried anything else out on Switch 2 since we last chatted?
It's been all DK all the time for me since the last episode. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I don't want to alarm anyone, but I'm redoing part of my island in Animal Crossing.
Ooh.
Like a renovation is happening?
Yeah, I'm making a concert hall.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Cool.
Okay, well, when you're done, let me know. I think we're going to have to do an Animal Crossing stream here pretty soon, because
I think so.
You haven't seen the renovations I did to my island.
That's true.
And I did that before Switch 2 came out. I was just like, something happened in early November. I don't know. Something happened. I can't remember. But like that back half of November, I really needed to go to my happy place, which is Cape Divix. And yeah, I built like a soccer field, and I made it even more pathways. I've even tried to remove some of the trees, because it's the one reason I don't get 5 stars on my island, David, is I have too many trees. Apparently my villagers get lost among the trees. But I'm like, it's the economy of Cape Divix runs on agriculture.
Yeah.
It's like, what does Isabel want from me? Yeah, too many trees. So I haven't gone back since Switch 2 launched, though. So I fired it up to make sure that my island was okay after the system transfer.
Yes.
But after that, I haven't played it. I haven't even touched either of the Zelda games yet. And I know I still want to play Trial of the Sword, and I still want to... I don't know what I want to do in Tears of the Kingdom. I just know I got to go back there, maybe have some fun with random builds, some Ultra Hand stuff, or, whatever. I still haven't even fired up Cyberpunk yet. I have that on the Switch too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, more stuff to check out. And yeah, like, biggest game of the year for the system probably coming out this week. So I'll be checking that out. Oh, I do want to provide an update before we go. I played more Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 plus 4 on the Switch 2 in the interest of just testing it for crashing. No crashes.
Have there been any patches for it yet?
There was a day one patch on all
there you go.
systems.
Doesn't do it.
But I did see someone on the internet, which, right? They said that they were experiencing crashes on their Xbox. So it might not just be a Nintendo thing. It might be a game thing. It might also be a super edge case thing that they're struggling to reproduce. But yeah, most people seem to be really enjoying Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, be it on Switch 2, PlayStation 5, or Xbox Series, whatever. But yeah, it's out there. I think that's like the biggest third-party release we've had so far on the Switch 2. And it's been received pretty well by the community. It'll be interesting we won't know because Microsoft doesn't actually provide sales data on anything, but it would have been interesting to see the split, like how many units sold on Switch 2 or Xbox or PlayStation or PC. That's a huge franchise. I'm sure there's a market for it everywhere. But it doesn't seem like it's as hype as the 1+2 remake. Like, that was a bigger deal than this. I think, too.
It was also the first remake.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah, it's like
a lot more
RE2
momentum
remake
behind
compared to 3.
Yeah.
Which both are excellent games. And I feel that
Yeah.
way about this, too. But yeah, it's been interesting watching people respond to our videos. I saw Axeman mentioned he's one of our moderators. He mentioned after watching my pinball gameplay on stream, he was like, "Okay, I want this game now," which I thought was interesting. Pinball is the last level that they added to THPS 4. It's like the bonus level, which is really fun. Like if you look up if you get to the middle of the table and you look up, there's like a giant Tony Hawk playing the pinball game, watching you. So you're like the ball that he's paying attention to. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting that like the new stuff seems to be intriguing to some people. And then there's some other people who just never played THPS 3. So they look at me like I'm a wizard when I'm putting up 1,000,000 point combos. But yeah, I'm going to take some time off of that game now. Like it's, got the review out, got some good gameplay out. Got to move on to other stuff. I got a big Donkey Kong game coming. And at some point, David, I got to get back to Doom.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you before we sign off. Don't forget about Doom.
No, like it's noticeably absent from the Switch 2 library. But yeah, I have it on my Xbox. When I was reviewing Tony Hawk for Xbox, I kept hovering over the Doom icon and being like, I should probably go back to this wonderful game.
Yeah.
But time.
Yep.
I think that's it. Nothing else crazy going on. Read Donovan's review. This podcast will be going live at the same time that drops. So head over to shacknews.com to read that review. Check out our videos. There's going to be some more gameplay that we upload to all the different places. We are still doing a Switch 2 giveaway. You can enter only for Americans. You can enter by donating $5 to the Trans Lifeline. We will include the link here in the comment and the description of our podcast. And I also asked this last week. I don't think anyone said they wanted it, but I'm going to throw it out again. If you want this podcast to be brought to podcast apps in audio format, let us know, and we'll do that. But for now, we're going to keep uploading this to YouTube. It seems like the format that people want to watch this and listen to this on, so we'll keep doing that. And then occasionally I will cut together vertical videos that make Donovan look bad. Like when he was crapping all over the character roster in Mario Kart World. I intentionally put Bowser's Castle music under that take, Donovan.
That's all right.
Just to highlight the evil nature of it. But yeah. No, thank you for doing the review and sharing your opinions. Got a 9 out of 10 here at Shacknews. That's a very good game. And yeah, that's a back-to-back pretty solid releases by Nintendo to kick off the Switch 2 era. Next up is Drag X Drive. So
Woo!
keep a lookout for that. I think another big third-party title that's coming to Switch 2 soon is Shadow Labyrinth, that Bizarro Pac-Man game. So we're starting to get third parties simultaneously shipping onto the Switch 2. So I think that'll be even more for us to talk about going forward. So we'll see you next time on This Week in Switch 2. Thanks, guys. Wave bye-bye to the folks at home, and we'll see you next week. Later.